Well, all eyes are on Iran's next action now. How is Iran really planning to retaliate after attacks by US on its soil and its infrastructure? Now, in his first ever response, Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei vowed punishment for Israel. That was his only response that came in on X hours back. But where is Iran's Supreme Leader? While there are reports that say that he may have been killed in these strikes by the US, there are also reports floating that say that he may be sheltering in a bunker. Well, to talk more about that, Mr. Zamir Abbas Jafri, professor of Al Mustafa University in Qom, also now joins us on the broadcast. Mr. Zamir, any information that we have about Khamenei as to where could he be? There are reports, of course. There was a New York Times report that came in earlier that said that he may be sheltering in a deep bunker. Any information?
Thank you very much for having me on the show. Such a professional channel, NDTV. I would request you that New York Times report that you're quoting. Did you read that news?
Yes, please.
What was the source of that news?
What do you want to say? Please go ahead.
I just wanted to know what was the source of that New York Times news. So the whole world is reporting that news, and that news has unconfirmed sources as the source.
That's not a confirmed report. We are not saying that. Even NYT is also not saying that.
No, what is it saying? Now, I'm just asking you, I want to understand that a newspaper prints a news from unconfirmed sources, and all the media channels of the world report it as a reality. They never say that.
So, Mr. Zamir, do you know about the reality then? Do you know about the reality?
Okay, first of all, whatever we say should be based on facts, right? So New York Times report is absolute rubbish because it says that it's from unconfirmed sources. So I can say anything from unconfirmed sources. So if I have a source, I need to say what my source is. Secondly, where Ayatollah Khamenei is totally irrelevant question, because in a war, where is Netanyahu or where is Trump is irrelevant question. We need to ask what is the fundamental question of this war. First of all, you were reporting a few minutes ago about the main issue is the nuclear bomb and how important it is that Iran should not have a nuclear bomb. What Ayatollah Khamenei has clearly stated regarding nuclear bomb is that it is illegal according to Islamic law to create a nuclear bomb. And it's a fatwa of Ayatollah Khamenei, which is very, very clear. Secondly, Iran is a signatory to NPT, right? Israel is not a signatory to NPT. Iran doesn't have a nuclear bomb. Israel has a nuclear bomb. America has a nuclear bomb. America has used nuclear bomb on innocent civilians. Iran has never attacked any country. Iran and India have very close historical ties.
So why do you think there is so much problem with US and Israel that Iran shouldn't have a nuclear bomb? Why is all this happening then?
This is an excuse. Look, the world order that we live in is a colonialist, imperialist power. They want all the Middle Eastern countries to submit to them, and they should control all the resources of the Middle East, right? So there are two types of reaction to these bullies and imperialist powers. So you have people like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and UAE. They bow down to the American interest and they say, okay, whatever resources we have, it's in your control. You are our masters. And then there are few people, there are few communities which show the resistance, which show that, okay, we as countries will not be controlled by foreign elements. Like India never gave up to the colonialist powers. These countries are there. They are saying we are not there to submit to the colonialist powers. Now, the warmongering which is happening right now, we as Indians, or we as those people who are of the free world, and especially have a history of colonialist people and imperialist people ruling us, we should ask this fundamental question. The same lies were repeated for Iraq, weapons of mass destruction. Who found weapons of mass destruction? The same lies were there in Syria of chemical weapons. Where did they find the chemical weapons finally? Same lies were repeated in Libya. What happened in Afghanistan? So if there is a template which was used for like 30 years to fool people, keep lying and create wars, and still we are following the same template, that is the height of simplicity and naivety that we have at this point of time. There is an illegal war waged on a sovereign nation, which
Okay.
is completely illegal by all international laws.
Okay.
We as sovereign nation should ask this question: why this illegal war?
Mr. Zamir, you've asked a question and you've answered yourself. The question that I was asking, you haven't really talked about it. You say
No,
the
come,
report that has
repeat the
come out
question.
is completely wrong and the question shouldn't be asked at all. Why should it not be asked at all? If that report is wrong, what's the truth? At least you can tell us about that.
No, in a war, look, it's what are people interested in? People are interested in to know the facts, right? In a war, who's staying where, or whether they're in the bunkers or not, it's good for sensationalism, and it's for yellow journalism or yellow page journalism. It's good. I mean,
Okay.
because it creates
Okay.
sensationalism.
Okay.
But actually, people,
No,
we
that
need
is
to
what
know the
people want to know,
values.
and that is what I'm asking. That is what the masses are also interested in. But I think I think you want to ask another question and answer that as well yourself. But all right, we won't have much time. Thank you so much, Mr. Zamir Abbas Zafri, for joining us here on NDTV and sharing your inputs there.